Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of Try Hard Game with me, Rollcase TV, where I do the best I can with what I've got, which is not a lot of talent, but a whole lot of sound of silence, sound of bumping my microphone. Yeah, the game sounds freaked out on me, and there's no game sounds. During this entire video, there will be no game sounds. Sorry about that. The only way to resolve that is to reboot the game, and I'm in the final race, or at least the mock-up of the final race. And it's actually a custom race because I didn't qualify for the final race, but I'm doing the final race as if I had qualified it. And I don't think I'm going to do that anymore, because what happened last week, and I decided to throw out the footage, and it happened this week. The game sounds are gone. So I'm going to press on and do the finish this. But I will be finishing it without game sounds. So, like I said, if I had a soundtrack, I could dub in motorcycle sounds. Just random motorcycle sounds in the background. While I'm singing the pit playing. Anyway. Now, I'm not going to make engine rubbing sounds on my own. Alright. Let's do the pit stop. And go ahead and do it. Hold to confirm. I have to confirm. Oh, wait. Did I get my tires? Or did I not get my tires? I got my tires, okay. I didn't get... that's right. Hold to confirm means confirm that I don't want to fill up the tank all the way, which is wrong. I didn't want to hold to confirm. I'm going to hopefully... Well, I should have enough not to finish the whole race, but I'll have enough to do another pit stop after this lap. Boy, this has been all messed up. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. Normally, it's not that messed up. But this game, I don't know when it started. I didn't think I had an update since. I don't have auto updates on because I've had bad experience with that. Some games I want to check out to see if they work before I update them. Check out on the bug list on the web or whatever. This is not one that publishes a bug list I can check out when there's an update. But yeah, there was an update that added content. I don't think there was an update since then, and for some reason now the game sounds bug out. Perhaps just on this race. I don't remember when they bugged out last time. I mean, last week they bugged out, like I said, and I threw away the race and decided to replay it this week. But if it's going to bug out every week, I might as well just go ahead and finish it out. I don't have enough saved up in other... Dude, oh, my cat's collar picked up on my... I don't have enough... I want to be able to put a YouTube video out every weekend with this game. And I would run out of content if I didn't do these, finish out this race. So I'm finishing out the race without game sounds. But yeah, I guess I gotta talk continuously, huh? Because there's no game sounds. People would think that there's nothing wrong with the video, nothing wrong with your audio. This background music. Hopefully, I would have remembered to put a pinned comment and maybe even add it to the title and put it in the description for sure. So, I can't think of anything to talk about other than how the game is bugged. Last episode, I was talking about basketball and baseball and other sports that I don't watch anymore. I was never basketball of the four sports that were major sports. Hockey didn't, or not hockey, but international football, soccer. There was no. When I was younger, like in my 20s, so we're talking 40 years ago, indoor soccer became a thing, which was a very interesting sport. They also had indoor football. MISL, Major Indoor Soccer League, yeah. Missile. Look it up, folks. Anyway, yeah, now normal football, international football / soccer is, there's Major League here in the U.S. And, but I probably would like, because I like hockey and I like baseball. The hockey, they actually score frequently, and it's very fast-paced action. You don't really have time to set up complicated plays. Soccer, I'm just going to keep calling it soccer because my American audience would get confused if I kept saying football. And it's too very wordy to say international football, to clarify. Anyway, soccer, my favorite Atari video game system, or maybe it was on the computer, or Atari computer, was a soccer game. And they didn't have soccer. They had on Pong. They had what they called hockey. Could have been soccer. Same basic thing. You had a goalie and a forward. Your little paddle, so you could redirect the ball as it was coming from your goalie. Basically foosball, but with only two players, well, a goalie and a player. Look that up too. Pong hockey or Odyssey 2, Magnavox Odyssey 2. That was the first home video game system I owned. I thought I had room there. So yeah, I was alive when Pong. I was alive and old enough to remember when Pong came to the video arcades, bowling alleys, as I often say. Pong, over 50 years old. I should see how old Space Invaders is. Space Invaders is probably coming up on 50. Maybe not. It'll be 74, 75, maybe. Let me think about this. Yeah, probably. Probably close. I gotta look it up. I would think it would be a big deal, the 50th anniversary of Space Invaders. Because Space Invaders was the first video game that really took off. I mean, how would it not take off? You got player missile graphics. You're shooting things, not just knocking a ball back. Although Pong was very fun for its time. If there was, no other video game, just especially the home version, you could, play at home It's a whole new kind of gaming, a whole new genre of gaming. And now look at what we got. The Pong audio never died. Never had to worry about the game audio unless something came unplugged right or something. Hardwired speaker blew out or something. Yeah, the sound turned down on your TV set and you didn't realize. That's it. I'm giving up on this game and I'm going to play Pong. I think I can probably get Atari Space Invaders on I can get an Atari 2600, which at the time they came out, they were not called 2600, they were called Atari Video Game System. But then they became known as Atari 2600. That was the model number. Anyway, little known fact there, a little known trivia from an old man who had one of the originals. Yeah, they have for the Xbox. They have, arcade pack, Atari arcade pack. Maybe they have Atari Space Invaders. It was made by Atari. They're only Atari made games. If they had an Activision pack, that would be cool. You could get he's caterwauling now. What was the game? One of my favorite games was a game where I can't remember the name, where it was a side scroller where you had to jump over pits and stuff. It was like a Indiana Jones type of game, but it wasn't a license. You would go down ladders underground and then go up ladders above ground and had to swing over crocodile infested waters and stuff. So it was like timing through. I don't think anything was chasing you, but and it was not a side scroller. Only your player scrolled. It was, you went from one side of the scene to off the screen to the next side of the screen, and then it would cut back to the poor kitty. And then it would cut to the next scene, and you'd enter the screen from the left side and run over to the right side and enter it from the left side again. Have to jump over stuff. And so it was basically a side scroller, but without the screen scrolling. Anyway, I don't remember the name of it. Anybody knows the name of it, put in the comments below. Or if you're watching the VOD, message me on Twitch. I'm open all messages on Twitch. If I get 100 YouTube subscribers, I'll set up a Discord. We can communicate back and forth. But right now, I communicate to you via YouTube community page, and you can communicate to me by messaging me on Twitch. Or, you put a comment on a YouTube video as well, but that's not as interactive. If you want to private message me, you can do that on Twitch. I respond to all comments. I don't get many comments at this point. I get notifications when I get a comment. And if it's not something that asks for a response, I'll just acknowledge it with a little content creator heart. Favorited it. Of course, you're watching this in the far future. Maybe I will not be able to respond to all comments because I'll get too many to respond to. But right now, I don't. If I get 100 YouTube subscribers, I will set up a Discord. I think I was in the middle of saying that. Speaking of community pages on Twitch, By the time you're watching this, it will already be past my mid-season marathon, unless you're watching this VOD on Twitch. As I'm recording this, which is the last weekend of January 2024, first Saturday of February will be my mid-season marathon, which as I'm recording this, I still don't have a posting up on YouTube, because I still don't have, I got to do that today. It's a week. Still don't have a schedule put together. I mean, I kind of know what I want to play, but it's going to start with Dirt Rally, because the first Saturday of every month I'm doing Dirt Rally, and mid-season marathons are 12-hour streams. First Saturday of February, May, August, and November. And yes, I had to count that out in my head, but that's approximately the middle of each season. I mean, depending on what, day of the month the first Saturday lands, etc. I started doing that because the middle of May is my streaming anniversary, May 14th. And so I started doing a marathon stream on my anniversary. This will be my 3rd anniversary stream coming up this spring. And because I had so much fun doing a 2nd anniversary, I decided, I'll just do this. That was approximately the middle of spring, a week late. That I'm doing, you know what? I'll do this middle of every season. So I did. And this will be, I guess this will make a year's worth of mid-seasons. As you're listening to this, it had made a year of mid-seasons. Oh, he's here now vocalizing he wants more food. I just gave him food. My cat, I gave him an appetite stimulant because he wasn't quite eating as much as I would have liked. His weight was down a few ounces, not anything alarming. He loves his food, but he doesn't like it with the powder we have to put on it, wetted. So half of it gets powdered and wetted and powdered, in that order. And so he doesn't like it that way, and so sometimes mix in some fresh, but sometimes he gets turned off if he starts to, if he doesn't quite eat it all early enough and it starts to sit there, and pour it out of the tub regular times of the day, and because I'm not always around during when he actually might want it, so he gets a bunch of it at 6 a.m. because he might eat it before 9 a.m. when I get up to give him a second feeding. So my roommate gives him his first feeding on actually on all days. Used to just be weekdays, but on all days now, doing his first feeding. And so if he hasn't eaten, we can't take the chance that he's going to be hungry and not eat, because then he might not eat anything. I mean, not eat enough as it is. But that means if it sits in his open dish rather than the sealed little Tupperware type Rubbermaid things we have his food in, it might not smell as fresh, and he doesn't like the powdered anyway, so I have to add fresh in, and if he starts to fall behind, he just might not eat at all. And he's an old cat. He needs to keep up his food, keep up his exercise. If for some reason I don't play with him as much, and my roommates hardly ever play with him, he might be less hungry, might not eat all his food. So anyway, long story short, after like 2 months or so of not giving him an appetite stimulant. I gave him one last night because his food was starting to fall behind. His weight was down a few ounces. So now he's crazy because, you know, he doesn't have the stimulant that often. I can give it like a half a pill a day, but I give him a quarter pill every other week at most. Now every other month or something. But now he's going crazy because the stuff really works. He hasn't had it for a couple months, and so he's, rather than his normal serving of two tablespoons twice a day, but that's not quite enough for him. He needs more like 2 2/3 tablespoons, like 2 tablespoons and 2 teaspoons. But since gave him the appetite stimulant, he's eating like over 3 tablespoons. He wants like 4 tablespoons over the last 24 hours, twice a day. It's a little bit too much for him. I don't want his weight to suddenly explode either. But the pill, he's not meowing necessarily, or caterwauling is not because he's hungry. Caterwauling is because he wants attention. But also the pill makes him vocalize more. And it isn't necessarily because he's hungry he's vocalizing. But I've never got a good explanation of why the pill would make him vocalize, other than making him vocalize because he wants more food. That seems to be the natural reason it would oh, what a save! And another one. Not as spectacular. I think there's a button I press to... They automatically change the tires unless you press a button or something and say you don't want them changed. I do have tire wear on, right? Pretty sure I set this up with tire wear. Anyway, I don't think you can turn off fuel consumption. I'm in the yellow. Definitely have to stop. So yeah, if he's sitting up by his dish and he's normally meowing, I know he's meowing because he's hungry, but he's not by his dish and he's just kind of caterwauling. So if you hear him in the background, he's vocalizing from the pill. A lot of times he's caterwauling during streams because he always wants to play when I'm about to start the stream. I didn't have the few minutes to play with him. I already started the stream late. It was going to be a longer stream anyway because I'm doing this entire race. Oh, I just noticed. Yeah, and I looked down to notice. The first time I ever noticed, I've got scratches on my tank. Is that scratches or is that just mud from dirt from... I think it scratches from wrecking, right? There's no actual damage, it's just cosmetic. I don't even know if you can turn on actual damage. Now he's here and he's gonna crawl up on my shoulder. I'm sitting on the couch in front of my Xbox with the monitor just behind it. And he's on the back of the couch. Oh, he's doing his scratchy scratch thing. He wants to play. I can't play with him. If I could get one of my roommates to play with him. Oh! Hi, Tuna. Oh, poor kitty. I know you need attention. You didn't get enough today. We were laying down together last night, as we normally do, but he got so hot I had to what I'll do is he insists on coming up on me. I like to lay on my side, but when he wants to sleep I lay on my back so he can lay on my chest. It's harder for me to sleep, but then he gets really warm and I'll get up to go to the bathroom or something and decide, okay, you gotta get down now. You're too warm. But if I just come back and lay on my side, it depends. But if he's in the mood, he'll just come up and crawl on me again while I'm on my side, and then I have to either keep shoving him down, or what I'll do is if it's cold enough, I'll pull the blanket over my head. But usually it's not cold enough to do that because this apartment gets incredibly warm in the wintertime. And everybody else's heater. And so I'll just put the pillow over my head. I'll like lay on my side with the pillow over my head and fall asleep that way. And he knows if the pillow's over my head, he can't get up there. Somehow he learned that. Or I got covers over my head. If he can't see my head, I guess I'm not really there. Or if I'm headless or something, I lost my head. Just want to lay on a headless, lifeless human body. Fortunately, he doesn't start like nibbling on me if I'm laying there with the pillow over my head. Somebody had a line that I really liked in a video. I don't think you can look the video up anymore. It's a current event kind of thing. And years back, I couldn't begin to give you a couple hour video or something. And like I said, I don't even think it's on YouTube anymore. Anyway, the guy was a producer for the show, and he was very funny. And talking about cats, he didn't like cats. He liked dogs. There's no such thing as cat people versus dog people, not in the U.S. Everyone's a dog person. It's either a cat person or an anti-cat person. He was kind of an anti-cat person. He said, a dog, if you drop dead in the middle of your apartment, as people do, they live alone, they drop dead in their apartment, they have a pet, the dog will just sit by your side and wait until somebody comes. But not a cat. A cat will eat you. Why let good meat go to waste if, oh, that's my beloved owner. Well, he's dead now. I don't think that's true, but it is pretty funny. You just can tell from looking at, the way they look at you, you can tell they'll eat you. Okay, let's try this again. I never remember that this happens, that I have to wait. Do I have a time with that lap? I don't think I do. Okay. Fill. See, I have the right button to fill. And then I confirm that's how much fuel I want. They are changing my tires. Okay, now they will fill. And then it asks for tires? No. It didn't ask for tires. I thought it asked for tires. You could skip the tire change. Maybe I'm thinking of rides. I really didn't need a whole tank, honestly. It's too late now. I only have one lap to go. 3/4 of a tank would have been plenty. All right. And this is about how long it takes in the actual automatic. Well, it doesn't take us long. They don't have pit crews of 20 people that run in with the fuel and the change your tires in 10 seconds if you're F1, and refuel it in 30 seconds if you're on NASCAR or something. If you just somehow fast forwarded to this point in the stream or the video, just joining the stream, there is no game sounds. The game sounds bugged out, so you just get to hear me talking continuously, which you get to hear me anyway. Let's face it, the game sounds are just like the background music. They're there, but speaking of background music, I have a list of things to do for my stream. I want to get everything done before 100 subscribers on YouTube, closing in. Going to do a Discord, and before I set up the Discord, which I have people who are going to help, which is nice, because Discord is a real pain to administer. A public Discord. Everyone gets a private Discord when I first join. But yeah, I got new emotes I want to put, which are going to be on the Discord. Right now, I just have 2 emotes for followers, and then animated versions of those 2 for subscribers. But you can do custom. They're called emotes in Twitch. I think they're just called custom emojis on Discord. And I'm not. I am not and will never be monetized on YouTube. That's my commitment to you. I hate being monetized on Twitch, to be honest. I hate that people have to watch pre-roll ads. All mid-roll ads are turned off, but I can't turn off pre-roll ads. I have no choice if I want access to all the technical wizardry that I need to stream at multiple resolutions and stuff, so I have to be monetized. But yeah, no YouTube YouTube membership, so no custom emotes. It would be nice if they gave you subscriber emotes for comments like they do for... Actually, I don't know if you can do custom emotes on comments anyway, or emojis for members. I think maybe they're just for live streaming. I don't know. I could look it up, but since it won't apply to me, I really don't care enough to even remember to look it up. Like Sherlock Holmes, if it's information I don't need, I will try my best to forget it. I don't have to try to forget things. I'm old enough. Forgetting things is a natural state. If you've watched any of my other videos or streams, you'll know I'll sit there for an entire 3-hour stream trying to remember the word for something. Getting old. That happens. I told my roommate the other day that I'm going to have dementia, which is nothing to really joke about, but I'm not really... wasn't sure I was joking. My not being able to remember words and stuff is getting worse. Probably should be screened, but then I would have to go to a doctor, and I don't go to doctors because I'm a guy. Only been to I haven't had a physical in over a decade. But yeah, I mean, if something's wrong, I go to the doctor. But I don't make doctor appointments. I go to the doctor if I need to go to the clinic or something, that something's wrong. I did go to the doctor before, what was it? One of the COVID booster shots, maybe it was the original shot, was only available to people that had some sort of pre-complicate comorbidity, which is what they call it. Not morbid, but some sort of I can't think of the word. Something that might make COVID more severe. High risk condition, and but I had to go to the doctor, and I've got that, but I had to go to the doctor to get a doctor's note, and so that was the last time I went to a doctor for something that I made an appointment for, that wasn't like clinic related thing. Well, I mean, I've gone to doctors for follow-up to clinic related things. It's not like I'm in the the it's not emergency clinic, I don't know, I can't remember what it's called. You go to a clinic, and clinics are not open. You know, nobody has like independent doctors anymore, unless they're 100 years old. Everybody's a clinic doctor, which is associated with some insurance company usually. You can only go to that clinic, but they'll have critical care or urgent care. That's it. They'll have urgent care if it's inconveniently you need somebody and can't wait until Monday's office hours or something. So I've had things where I had to follow up with a doctor afterwards. But it's not like I go there every day, but or often even maybe once every 2 years or something. But yeah, this doctor, he wanted to do like an entire physical exam and wanted to sign me up for follow-up physical. And the doctor was also, I try not to be an ableist. I mean, I'm not the most able creature myself. He was really old, well past retirement age, and he also had a hearing disorder. He was, I don't know how partially or totally deaf he was, but he had someone that was helping him out. Normally he would read lips, but everyone was wearing a mask at this point, right? So he was difficult to communicate with. He had an assistant with him who would write down, you'd talk to her and she would write down what you said and then give it to him, show it to him. But she wasn't like, she was just, like I said, he's normally just lip reads, and I'm sure he's really good at it, but she wasn't a professional, like, she didn't have years of experience of taking notes for this guy, and so he like couldn't read her handwriting very well because she would try to write things down really fast, and he couldn't hear me, and I had a mask on, so he couldn't read my lips, and she's writing stuff down and he can't read her writing. I'm like, oh man, this would probably be a good year for you to retire, but obviously I'm not going to say something like that, because he, like I said, he was at least in his 70s. But he probably loved what he was doing. He didn't want to retire. He's making decent money. Since he's a clinic doctor, he may not have, he doesn't have as much money as a specialist who's in private practice or something, just a general practitioner. So I don't know. Anyway, so it was a bizarre experience, and I didn't really want to stay there long enough to get an entire physical exam and have a follow-up exam with him, while COVID was still going on. And so I got my note. I went to the same place. I didn't need like a physical note because I went to the same place where I got the shot. So not the same actual location, but the same clinic. Whatever it's called, network. And so they just put it in the computer that yes, I was eligible. I don't remember his name, but he was on my care list for the longest time, and like now it would probably be okay, but I still wear a mask, and because of my pre-existing conditions, I still wear a mask when I go out in public, especially if it's going to be a restricted space or something. I think I probably should still wear a mask. My roommate got COVID, and boy, that was a mess because there's 3 of us that live in a small apartment, and she had to take, fortunately she still had end of the year, she still had some sick days left, but she ended up she would have to, if she was on a sick day, she'd have to just not get paid, and then she wouldn't be able to pay the rent. And America, love it or leave it. Leave it in a box, because it's not like people have closed their borders to Americans or anything. They actually have. I mean, that's just during COVID. It's not as easy to get out as it looks like. Not that I'm, looking to get out or anything. I mean, I am, but I'm not going to admit that on stream. Definitely worse countries to live in. I'll put it that way. Our economy is great right now compared to most of the. Like I said, I'm streaming this at the beginning of 2024, and people are finally starting to realize that the economy was really kicking in 23. Inflation went way down. It's like an incredibly low number. Wages are way up. Wages are not just keeping up with inflation, but they're exceeding inflation right now, and the unemployment rate is the lowest it's been in the longest time. And that's what people feel, and then also the other indicators that no real person cares about, like the stock market and the GDP and everything is way up. So people are finally starting to recognize it, because misinformation and partisan information is kind of a industry here. And so depending on what party is in power and what media you watch, you're going to either get only positive or only negative information. There's a good, what is it, Ground News, I think it is. I've never used it or seen it, but their thing is to, it's only U.S. news. I try to follow world news as much as I can, but where they give you a range of, they have providers rated on a political spectrum, and they try to give you a range of views, but tell you what the bias is and how strong the bias is in this particular news source. Of course, somebody has to determine that bias, which also might have a bias to it. And anyway, I try not to talk politics on stream, and I'm not talking any partisan politics, but the idea is getting news. Right now, a lot of places in the world are still struggling with inflation and things. Europe, fuel costs are way up and things, and the U.S. right now, we're actually for better or for worse, based on the environment, we're actually the number one, I think, provider of fossil fuels right now, oil and natural gas. We're actually number one. You don't hear that places. People are still incentivized to say, "Oh, we need energy independent." We've been energy independent for a long time. We still import stuff, but we also export stuff because it's a global market. It's no longer the 70s with an oil embargo. Really hurts. I mean, some countries do manipulate their prices because they can take advantage of situations around the world but the bottom line is the economy here has been really clipping along well, and people are finally starting to, in surveys, say yes, that I must admit, despite me not wanting to approve of things and how they're going, I have to admit that my life is better now than it's been. So USA, very resilient. It's one thing I will say about the country. But everybody outside the country and most people inside the country know that the healthcare system is a little sus. And so getting back to my story about never going to the doctor and having COVID and worrying about, when my roommate had COVID, worrying about her not being able to pay the rent because she ran out of sick days. It was actually, she worked for a large company who then outsourced what she was doing, and she was essentially transferred to the outsourced company, because that's how the company does, is they it's something that can't be, I'm not going to mention what it is, but it's not something that can be offshored or anything. But am I still okay? I'm still okay. Wow, that's the first time that's ever happened to me in this game, where I came to a stop and I couldn't go forward, but I didn't actually wreck. I could just foot it back and keep going. So, yes, still wear a mask out. She got COVID because she somebody came into her little cubby area where she works, and they just walked in. They're not supposed to just walk in, but they just walked in because my roommate left the door open for some reason. And I mean, it's not like it's a secure door or anything. But yeah, somebody just walked in and said, oh yeah, I haven't been around for a while because I had COVID, but I took a couple days off and came back, probably because that person couldn't afford to take time off either when they're sick and contagious with a serious disease. And so when she's back in her cubby, if no one's around, she doesn't wear her mask, but she puts it on when people come in. But the woman came in and was standing a foot away from her. I don't know if she was coughing, but came in and she wasn't wearing a mask, and my roommate wasn't wearing her mask because she wasn't expecting her to come in. And I took a couple days off because I had COVID, but I'm back now. I'm still, she didn't say this, but I'm still severely contagious, and I'm standing a foot away from you or less, invading your personal space, which is not a thing you want, Minnesotans do in the first place. And so she caught COVID, and we all were isolating from each other, which is not easy because we're in a very enclosed apartment. Very small apartment with 3 people, but luckily and amazingly, neither I nor my other roommate caught anything. My one roommate stayed in her room as much as possible. We all had areas. We were wearing masks throughout the whole period inside, unless we were in our little designated areas where we're going to eat and stuff. Yeah, it was really difficult. We have one bathroom, and so we have to brush our teeth somewhere, and of course the tests are not cheap, and so we're testing quite frequently, and that's an expense. So yeah, and like I said, we my one roommate and I both have. My other roommate is her adult son, who's strapping young man and doesn't have any pre-existing conditions that might complicate things. Her and I do, and and so it was amazing. Neither of us caught it, and she tested positive forever, because even after you're no longer contagious, you're going to test positive. And then she got what they call a rebound. It's not a relapse. technically, because you can't get a relapse until after like a month, when it may not have been completely cleared from your system and it might come back. But a rebound infection is when there's a medication you can take to make your symptoms less called Paxlovid. And sometimes people on Paxlovid will have, you get on the medication and you get very mild, you know, if you start with mild symptoms, your systems aren't going to work as long as you start within the first 48 hours or whatever. And but sometimes what will happen is you'll get what they call a rebound infection, maybe because you haven't cleared it, and when the Paxlovid wears out, it comes back. But she tested negative, and then tested double negative. When you test negative with the home test, you're supposed to test again. She tested double negative, and then started feeling ill again, and tested, and it was positive again. So we had to go back to the restrictions. Yeah. I actually have on the outside of the apartment door a sign that says, "Please wear a mask." And everyone's nice about it. I mean, we still get food delivered. We were starting to get food delivered all the time. We go out. It's a mixture of things. The heavy stuff we have delivered, like the big cases of soda, which is, I'm sure the delivery people always appreciate, because we're on the third floor of a walk-up. I guess it's actually the second and a half floor. There's a sub-level, and then level 1 goes up a half flight of stairs, and level 2, second floor in the US, we name the first floor, the ground floor, we name the first floor anyway. So we're on the third level of apartments, but only two and a half, only 1.5 flights of stairs to get up, rather than 2 full flights of stairs to get up. But if you're carrying a bunch of heavy stuff, it's still a lot to carry up. Sometimes the person will say, "Hey, I can't do this. I'm going to leave it in the mail room, and you guys work it out." The mail room, the cubby, the foyer, the bottom of the stairs, just inside. Then we'll buzz them in, and they'll just leave it inside. Sometimes we get real jerks that we've had people that they didn't even bother to ring the buzzer. They just left it outside in the weather, completely outside the apartment. You look and see, oh, it's delivered? Look on the app, it's delivered? What? Go outside and it's, in the snow. And there's not like an enclosed place outside the security door. There's a tiny roof right in front of the door. There's just there's a couple stairs up to the entrance, and the entrance is flush with the building, and then there's a roof no bigger than the stoop where you open the door. It's like as wide as the stairs, and maybe 3 times the deeper than a stair would be. Barely enough room to stand. You can't even completely stand on the same level as the entrance. Once you unlock the door, you have to kind of stand back on the step to get the door to swing all the way open. That's how small it is. And the roof is just covers that, and so it's impossible to set anything down outside the weather on that little area. Ugh! And so, they'll send them down like in the grass or on the gravel next to the I don't know, I call it stoop. I don't know what the real word is. The door entrance cement. Well, I'm just about done. And we'll get to see what all my times were. Which, of course, because of the 2 pit stops, are going to be even worse than it would normally be. We'll see what my best lap was. Lap info. My best lap was 25 minutes and 34 seconds. And you may notice, I was talking about how the qualifier cheats on the lowest skill level, which is what I play on because I'm bad enough anyway. My only chance of finishing not last ever is to play on the lowest skill level. You'll notice the qualifying time for the race is 20 minutes, and nobody finished their best lap in less than 20 minutes. The lowest was, I think, 20 minutes and 49 seconds, first place. I'm scanning all of the best lap is necessarily by the first place finisher, but now you could say, well, with a pit stop in the middle, there's an out lap and then an in lap, and there's no hot lap. I couldn't think of the word. So, it's a standing start, the return lap, but that's only going to be like an extra second to return on the second lap into the pit lane. So anyway, but yeah, they don't in the actual qualifier. There were only like 2 people would get a lap. In a 60-minute qualifier, which is how long the qualifier is, neither you nor the AI can get in more than 2 laps. It would be 3 if you could do a lap in considerably less than 20 minutes, but the 30% AI never gets their third lap in before the timer runs out, and they don't let you finish the lap. If you look at their time, it's over 20 minutes for the first 2, including their hot lap, the second lap. Anyway, so that's it. I finished last, and the gap was... Is that right? Are those seconds? No, those are minutes. My gap to first place was 20 minutes and 21.361 seconds. The second column there on the right panel, gap. Now, to be fair, unnecessarily fair, I did have 2 pit stops, but 20 minutes, wow. In a race that took me over 104 minutes, took the person in front of me 86 minutes. 20 minutes, that's like 20% of 100 minutes. That's pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I fell off a lot. Anyway, that is going to do it for this season, actually. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. I'm going to come back and start the next season on stream. But if you're watching on YouTube, that's going to be it for this YouTube video. Next YouTube video will be out the next weekend. TTL Man 3 is dropped on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@RollCageTV. Saturdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. And Twitch streams this game Saturdays starting at 12:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. And also stream Civilization 6 Tuesdays and Thursdays, and SnowRunner on Sunday afternoon. Evening streams are at 6:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Twitch.tv/RollCage_TV. Anyway, if you're on Twitch, stick around. I'll be back in a couple minutes. YouTube, next episode will be coming up. Either way, I will see you then.